A failed two-point conversion in overtime helps the Owls get their third conference win of the season.
The Cherry and White moved past the Golden Hurricane as they have their sights set on a bowl game.
I'm Xavier Adams, live from the studio set. Yes, a win versus Tulsa, and now it's time to look ahead to ECU. I'll talk about Temple's Saturday opponent, plus, yes, more bowl talk.
And live at the Leacore Center, I'm Tim McFarland. We are down to less than just a week away until the men's basketball season tips off. Later in this show, we'll introduce you to some new names and faces from this year's squad.
Same goes for women's basketball. Diane Richardson needs to fill some big holes on offense this season.
And the men's golf squad stayed in state looking to finish their last multi-day invitational. Our sports update is live and it starts right now.
Hello and welcome to another edition of OwlSports Update. I'm Kayla Levine alongside Gabriel Linington, and we have a spooky show.
Halloween is on the horizon, and whilst many of you are at home getting your costumes ready for this weekend, the Temple football team is gearing up to see some Pirates who aren't in fancy dress.
Moving on. Kids all know that the next one makes them bowl eligible. That's something we talked about from the first day I got here, about what our goals were, and getting into a bowl and then go winning a bowl was a big deal. East Carolina's really good. Tempo team, very accurate quarterback, really good wide receivers, like their offensive line, complete team. They play really physical defense. So, as I told our kids, I said, they're every bit as good as us. And, I walked off the field really impressed with what we did in a Monday practice. So, excited to get a really good East Carolina team here back at home. Be nice to get back in the link, and, it should be a really good football game.
The Owls are back to South Broad Street as they take on the Pirates on Saturday at the Link. The Pirates are right behind the Owls in conference play with a 2-1 record. The Owls, on the other hand, are on a 2-game winning streak with a record of 5-3 and 3-1 in conference play. Both of these teams can score. They're each averaging north of 30 points per game, but Temple has done a better job of protecting the ball with just one turnover on the year. A win would give the Owls a bowl eligibility. That's looking into the future. Let's take a look back to this past weekend and Temple's trip to Tulsa. This one went into overtime. This is Temple's straight road game against a Tulsa team winless in the American. Tulsa up 3 early in the first. Temple responds with a 24-yard pass by Evan Simon to Kajaya Holloway for the first touchdown of the game. Not too shortly after that, the Owls get the ball right back, and it's once again Evan Simon to Jay Ducker for another touchdown, put the Owls up 13-3 early in the second quarter. I'll take a look at the second half. Now that the Cherry and White team are now trailing by 3. But it doesn't last long as Simon finds Holloway in the end zone. The two teams end regulation tied at 31. So that means overtime, and when it matters most, Simon has delivered. The Owls score on their first possession. Then talk about audacious as the Golden Hurricane, after scoring its own touchdown, go for 2, but the defense shines strong and gives the Owls the win. Your final score is 38-37. Temple is now 1 game away from bowl eligibility. Once again, Evan Simon was outstanding against Tulsa. 267 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So it's no wonder he's been named the Manning Award watch list for the 2025 season. The redshirt senior has had one of his best seasons on North Broad with 21 touchdowns and not a single interception so far. That's best in the country.
Now, how about a special award for a special teams player? Junior punter Dante Atten has been named to the Ray Guy Award list after the 1-point overtime win against the Golden Hurricane. The award honors the nation's best collegiate punter in the FBS, and Atten has been premier for the Owls. Atten has had 2 punts that kept the field position in Temple's favor in the 4th. Those 2 punts landed at the 2 and 11 yard lines. Overall, Atten had 5 punts, totaling 214 yards. That's an average of close to 43 yards per punt.
We have another week of Temple Talk football. You can hear from head coach Casey Keeler as well as his other assistant coaches every Friday at noon on TUTV. This week, host Kevin Kopp had an offensive line coach, Al Johnson. He focused in on the team's success this year and how Coach Keeler is driving force.
Maybe Coach isn't nuts. We think he's nuts some days, but overall, I think that's part of it. And I think that's part of the development. I think that part of it, the development, the relationships, the working hard, and then seeing it play off. I believe there's a lot of things, man, but if you can give players hope that what we're doing today is going to give us a better tomorrow, and you can find a bunch of guys that love football and love what they're doing, they will keep on giving you everything they have for a better future.
It's time to add some depth to our discussion.
Joining us on the desk, it is our Tuesday guy joining us on a Thursday. Inside the Nest host, Xavier Adams. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I'll start off. We expected Temple to come out and honestly to dominate Tulsa after their win against Charlotte, because Tulsa are also one of the cellar dwellers in the American. But obviously it was a close one. It was an overtime 1-point win for the Owls. And what does that say about this team? Is it just a great thing that they won on the road, or is it something to look back to?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's really hard, especially in this conference, to win on the road. Most people don't know, but heading into that game, Temple was 1-5 in the entire state of Oklahoma, regardless of team. They just can't win when they go down to that state. But for that, I don't think this is a game that we should necessarily be worried about skill-wise for this team. I think the Temple offense and at times the defense, I think they proved that they have the manpower and the ability to run very efficient, to have a very efficient team. I think the problem with that game is the execution. I think there are times, like in the first half, or in the red zone, for example, where Temple was just coming out way too slow offensively. I think if they need to be more aggressive in that first half to get more points on the board. You still had guys like Kajaya Holloway and Jay Ducker with 3 touchdowns for Kajaya, 2 touchdowns for Jay Ducker receiving. Like, there are still a lot of good, efficient offensive pieces there. You just need to do better at executing in the first half.
Hypothetically, if Temple gets a win, they will become bowl eligible, and that hasn't happened since 2019, the Military Bowl. Is this weekend's game their best chance at number 6?
Yeah, I think getting this 6th win is going to be very tough, but I mean, because when you look at the rest of the schedule, they have 4 games left, and they are likely to be underdogs in every single one of them. So let's take a look at the American Conference as a whole. Starting off with the Ins. These are the teams in the American Conference who have already clinched bowl eligibility, and there are 5 of them. These are Navy, Tulane, Memphis, North Texas, and South Florida. These are obviously the big dogs so far in the conference, and the alpha among them at this point in the season is the Navy. Their season is still perfect with a 7-0 total record and a 5-0 in-conference record. Next, on to the maybes. These are the teams that I have right on the cusp of making a bowl game. Here I have just 2 teams, and funny enough, they play this Saturday. It's the Temple Owls and the ECU Pirates. Temple currently sits at 5 wins, while ECU is at 4. This makes Saturday that much more interesting when you realize whoever wins this game could be potentially taking the other team's seat on that bowl game couch. And finally, we have the outs, the teams that I don't see really having any chance of making a bowl game. You could try to maybe make a case for a team like Army to bounce back, but at this point in the season, I see it as too little, too late. Based on what we know now, it's safe to say this Saturday will be a huge day for the conference. I'm Xavier Adams, kicking things back to Kayla and Gabriel at the desk.
Thanks, Xavier. It is a sad day for the Temple community, and in particular, Temple athletics. The longtime voice of the Temple Owls, Harry Donahue, has passed away.
Donahue served as the voice of Temple football and men's basketball for parts of 5 decades. He began working for Temple athletics in 1984 and continued calling games up until 5 years ago. Donahue was inducted into the Temple Basketball Ring of Honor in 2020. He was also inducted in the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame in 2000. Outside of Temple, Donahue spent 35 years as the morning news anchor at KYW News Radio before retiring in 2014. Harry Donahue has left us at the age of 77. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. The men's basketball team has been ramping up, getting ready for its opener next week. OwlSports updates. Tim McFarland is live at the Liacouras Center to highlight the newcomers and the returners this season. Hey, Tim.
Thanks, Gabriel. This year, Temple returns with the fewest number of players in the American Conference. Recently, it is pretty common to bring in a host of new players, thanks to the portal. And that leaves Temple with a lot of question marks just days before the season opener.
The wait is almost over. The men's team is in the final days before starting the 2025-26 season.
We have been practicing since June. This is like the week where you're now like, okay, let's get to a game. We want to see some more competition.
Temple only has 4 returning players and 9 transfers. Coach Fisher says versatility in their lineup is a big focus for the Owls this year.
If you look at the last few years, whether it be a limited number of guys on your team, injuries, the more depth you have in this tough conference, I think the better you're going to be. So we really tried to make sure we were deep in all the positions, right? We can move. We love to have guys that are versatile, guys that can move from 4 to 5, 5 to 4, 2 to 3, 1. I got a guy who's playing the 1, the 2, the 3 right now. So it's moving guys around that versatility.
Temple men's basketball is set to begin their 130th season. Currently, they are 6th for the most wins of all time. This year, they only have 2 returning starters compared to their 11 newcomers.
One of those newcomers is 6'9" forward Ayuba Bryant Jr. He played for the Belgian national team.
I have a lot of experience with different styles, and that made me adapt more easily than it would if I didn't have the experience. So.
Fans won't have to wait long to see this new lineup in person. Temple opens the season with 4 straight home games, starting against Delaware State next Wednesday.
I feel like we're blending in pretty good. I feel like we're very close off the court, so that's helping us with our on-the-court success.
Coach Adam Fisher announced at Media Day that the starting lineup will be released sometime after Sunday, which is just 4 days before the season opener. Live at the Liacouras Center, I'm Tim McFarland, OwlSports Update. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Tim. One major hole to fill for the Owls comes thanks to Jamal Mashburn Jr.'s graduation last May. And now the former Owl is going pro. Mashburn was selected 8th overall by the Westchester Knicks on Saturday afternoon in the NBA G League draft. The Westchester Knicks are, as you could have guessed, the New York Knicks G League affiliate. Mashburn Jr. averaged 22 points last season for Temple in an injury-shortened season where he missed 9 of the team's final 10 games.
Now to the women and some new faces as well. OwlSports Updates Xavier Johnson is live at the studio set with this look. Hey, Xavier.
This past Tuesday was Media Day for women's basketball. At the event, there was a lot of interest and focus on the 2 returning stars, along with the new supporting cast.
Women's college basketball is back, and Temple has some holes to fill. The Owls lost their 2 leading scorers from last season. That leaves the team with new leaders, including Tristan Taylor, who averaged about 7 points per game last season. This year, she's a junior captain.
I'll say being a consistent scorer because I was a facilitator a lot, a lot of assists, and I think just adding to my game to scoring.
Fellow captain Kayla Turner is also coming off a great sophomore season. She was named America's 6th Player of the Year winner last season, and she's a preseason all-conference pick this season.
She's an exciting player. She's so quick that she can get to the rim, and you don't usually have players that are 3-level scorers plus can play on the other side of the ball, and she has that package.
After a short run in the playoffs last year, the women's basketball team looks to improve with brand new offensive weapons and a new perimeter defense.
we lost 2 prolific scorers, but I think we gained a lot more scores. And so you'll see that anybody on the court can score.
I would say the depth we have. I think we can go really far in our bench because we have a lot of players that can really play basketball.
The Owls are picked to finish 4th in the 13-team American Conference, with a goal of having a stronger run in the postseason. It starts Monday at home against George Mason.
Speaking of the schedule, one of the more exciting trips for the Owls comes over Thanksgiving. The Owls will play 3 games down in the Bahamas. At the studio set, I'm Xavier Johnson. Back to you guys at the desk.
Just yet.
We've got the story of one major award for one of Temple's best. We will be back in just 90 seconds. Welcome back. 42 athletes were named the KYAO Servant Leader List for the 2025-26 season, and one of them is here on North Broad. OwlSports Updates, Tamar Stubbs highlights the local recipient.
The prestigious KYAO Award recognizes what Tristan Taylor values most, her character.
It means a lot just knowing that other people recognize my attitude, not just on the court, but off the court as well. I try to be a great person.
The award honors Coach KYAO's courageous 22-year battle with breast cancer and her selfless spirit. Coach Richardson knew Yao before her passing in 2009, and she knows full well how Tristan embodies that very legacy.
It's really important to show what Kayla did in her lifetime, and Tristan encompasses that for our team, being a servant leader, being a leader on the court, being a leader off the court as well.
This is Nike's KYAO book bag, where it highlights some of her characteristics, like strength and courage. While everyday people get to represent Coach KYAO on their back, Tristan Taylor gets to represent Coach Yao on her jersey. This season, the KYAO patch is on Tristan's jersey, as it represents a commitment to leadership and community.
She leads us in community service hours, never turns down an assignment, always there, always helping, always extending an extra hand as well.
It's okay to be different and just be yourself. Just be a great person to people and treat others how you want to be treated.
Reporting from Pearson McGonigal, I'm Tamar Stubbs, OwlSports Update.
Mixed results for Temple field hockey. First off, on Sunday, the Owls beat 14th-ranked Yale at home 2-1 on Senior Day. The Owls scored twice in the second quarter and never gave up the lead against the Bulldogs. A few days earlier on Friday, Temple played a must-win game against nationally ranked Liberty in Big East play. Temple needed a win to stay in the playoff hunt. To start off the scoring drive for Liberty is Zoe Gaylord with a shot on goal with 5 minutes remaining in the first. Not too shortly after that, freshman Lucia Magro scores the penalty, tying the game 1-1. That was the freshman's 6th goal of the season. But the Flames burn the Owls again. A long shot tipped in by Josefina Tomasi to put up Liberty 2-1 heading into the half. The Owls picked up a second-half goal from Magro that sends this game into overtime and then to a shootout, all tied at 2. Starting with Mara Lenting, who got the first goal after an initial block. Just after that, Liberty takes over with goals scored by Kabrnik and Tornanti. Liberty wins the shootout 3-1 and takes the game 3-2. The loss drops the Owls to 2-4 in the Big East. Liberty has secured the #1 seed. As for the Owls, the Liberty loss knocks them out, even with a win in Temple's final regular season game on Friday against Providence. But the best Temple can finish is tied for 4th. But the Owls don't have any of the tiebreakers head-to-head against Villanova or in a 3-way tie versus Nova and Quinnipiac.
Let's go into McGonigal Hall for some volleyball. The Owls up against UAB. Temple is coming off a 7-match losing streak in this one, so a win is pivotal to stop the slide. Temple is in the cherry tops. After trailing early in the first set, the Owls start to respond with some quick offense. There's Alyssa Finister with the rejection. And then the Owls were able to snag the first 2 sets as here comes a scrappy play with Christina Green with the head over the net for the kill. UAB starts to come back through by taking the next 2 sets, so they go to the 5th and final set. And who else but Green, who led the team in kills with 17 to get Temple over the hump 3-2. Those were the highlights, but there was plenty more happening for the Cherry and White. The women's soccer team lost a lopsided 1-down in Memphis 6-0. Then rowing was at the head of the Schuylkill Regatta with the championship 8+A team grabbing 12th place and the championship 4+B team picking up 6th. Then finally on Wednesday, the men's soccer team was also struggling in its final road game 7-0 against the Charlotte 49ers. But it's time for a break. OwlSports Update will be back in just 90. Welcome back. The golf team is getting very close to wrapping up its full season. This past weekend, the Owls competed in the Lehigh Invitational. This was Temple's first multi-day tournament of the fall, and it was a good one.
It's the penultimate event of the season for the Owls, but it's the last multi-day invitational. Temple stayed in state this past weekend as the Cherry and White made the trip up to Lehigh Valley to go up against 10 colleges from around the country, and the Owls were impressive. In particular, Nicholas Pizarski, a freshman, finished 8th, his first top 10 showing in his collegiate career.
I hit a lot of good shots, just struggled a little bit on the greens. There was some pretty tough pins out there today, but there's still a lot of positive to look at going forward.
And Nico is an amazing freshman, and we're a very young team. So really, I look forward to the journey of watching them get better each and every day.
The Owls struggled on the first day of the 2-day tournament, finishing 5th overall, but they started to elevate their play in all 3 phases on Sunday. Driving, in the short game, and on the green.
This was the Owls' last multi-day tournament of the season, but also their second multi-day tournament in just 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, they went over to North Carolina, 500 miles there, 500 miles back. Combine that with this weekend, that's 90 holes of golf in the past 2 weeks. That's a lot of golf, going up against teams like FDU, Lehigh, Lafayette, and UMass at Saucon Valley Country Club.
But this clearly didn't seem to impact Temple's performance.
We're very blessed. We have a great team behind us with Tim Teefy and his crew that do an amazing job in our strength and conditioning. I mean, I think, you know, we're pretty prepared. All the kids know what's upon them.
Temple is nearing the end of its full season, and the spring season isn't far away with its first meet in February. This gives Coach Quinn's young team more time to grow this season and in seasons to come.
The Owls were supposed to wrap up their season with a day-long tournament at the Big 5 Championship, but that was postponed due to this weather today, and a makeup date is yet to be announced, but it's in the spring season. They'll be starting in February. But that is all the time we have for today.
But don't worry, you don't have to miss any Temple sports updates. You can find all of our news on our social channels at OwlSports Update. From everyone in TV Studio 3, I'm Kayla Levine.
And I'm Gabriel Linington. We hope your Halloween weekend isn't too harrowing this year. As we sign off, have a great rest of your day.